Welcome to the test review. Your test will be this Thursday. I will be completing number 1 through 5. Number 1, graph the following linear equations and analyze for the behavior. If you look at this very first equation, that's in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. We can go ahead and graph, and all of our answers will be related to this graph. Your y-intercept is at 2, so you're going to go to 2. Your slope is negative 4 over 3. Keep in mind this is the same thing as negative 4 over 3 or 4 over negative 3. That is exactly the same thing. Since I have more space toward the bottom, toward the negatives, I'm going to graph negative 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, positive 3, 1, 2, 3, to the right. Or you can go up 1, 2, 3, 4, but you're going to go left 1, 2, 3. And there you have your points for your line. Draw your line, connecting all those points. You really only need 2, but 3 is always better. Don't forget your arrows. Arrows tells you it is a line. Your domain is your x value, far left to far right. I start all the way here from negative, go all the way to the positive infinity. So you're going to write parentheses, negative infinity to positive infinity. Your range is floor to ceiling. Start the negative infinity, low to high. The highest you're going to go is to positive infinity. And we use parentheses because there's not a stopping point. Your x-intercept, where you cross the x-axis, as you can see, it's between 1 and 2, so we'll come back to that. Y-intercept is always your constant right here, so your y-intercept is 0, 2. Okay? Please write it as a location. To find your x-intercept, you know that your y is going to be 0. So what you can do is you need to plug into the equation. 0 equals negative 4 over 3x plus 2. Solve for 2. Okay? Solve for x. Subtract 2, so negative 2 is equal to negative 4 over 3x. That's divided by 3, so times 3 on both sides. What you do to one, you do to the other. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6, is equal to negative 4x. Divide by negative 4. What you do to one, you do to the other. So x is equal to 3 over 2, which is 1/2. Okay? So we're going to write 3 over 2, and that is your x-intercept. Your slope is the m. It is always in front of the x, so m is equal to negative 4 over 3. Your end behavior, that is the ends. Those are the two ends we're looking for. Since this one is approaching negative infinity, see how it's going this way toward the negative? Where is your y going? It's going up. Right-hand side, this one is approaching positive infinity. As it's heading toward the positive, it is going down. Okay? And you're only looking at the very ends for your end behavior. That is your solution to number 1. Number 2, if you look, your equation is not in slope-intercept form, so we are going to rewrite it in slope-intercept form. So negative 2x plus 5y is equal to negative 5. Solve for y. So it'll be 5y is equal to 2x minus 5. Divide by 5. Y is equal to 2 over 5x minus 1. It is now in slope-intercept form. Go ahead and graph. You are at negative 1. Slope is up 2 over 5. Or you can go down 2, left 5. And there you have your line. Draw your straight line. It is linear. Try to go straight through the graph. Draw your arrows because it is linear. It's a line. Your domain. So instead of writing, you notice it's negative infinity to positive, you can also write all real numbers. That means the same thing. Your range, low to high. And I'm going to write all real numbers. Okay? Your x-intercept. This looks like it's crossing at 3, but I'm not sure, so you need to make sure you go and check. Plug into the equation right here, okay? You can use this one, or you can use this one. I'm going to use this one up here since there's no fraction. So I'm going to plug it in. Let me leave some room. Okay, let me do this right. I know my y is 0, so negative 2x plus 5 times 0 is equal to negative 5. 0 times any number is 0, so negative 2x is equal to negative 5. X is equal to 5 over 2. Now, if you look, it does look like 3, right? But it is not 3. Okay, let me check my math. My y is 0. Negative 2x plus 5 times 0 is equal to negative 5. Okay, my math is correct. So this is 5 over 2. Your y-intercept is always the constant in your slope form. So this is 0, negative 1. Your slope in slope-intercept form, m, is equal to 2 over 5. Okay. Take a look, your end behavior, that's this part right here that we are taking a look at, because it's approaching negative. As x is approaching negative infinity, your y is also approaching negative infinity, as you can see. Okay. This one is approaching positive. Look at your x. X is approaching positive, while y is also approaching positive. And there you have your end behavior. Number 3. A farmer fills his cow's water trough with 60 gallons of water. The water trough has a leak, draining water at 5 gallons every day. Model the amount of water in the trough if the trough was left alone. Now, he's losing water, so that tells you it's going to be a negative, okay? So it's going to be negative 5 gallons per day. Let's take a look at our x and our y. We are talking about he has 60 gallons. That's what he started with. The water has a leak at 5 gallons every day. Model the amount of water in the trough if the trough was left alone. What is our x value? Our x value is the amount of water, okay? And the y is what is left. So if I were to write the equation, it would look like this. Y is equal to negative 5x plus 60, because I started off with 60. So x is talking about the water level, okay? X is every day. So this is the day, and your y is your total water left, because he's losing 5 gallons per day. All right, so let's go ahead and graph. Make sure you have a title. We'll just say farm or field. Let's call them that, farm or field. Anything relating to that, okay? Your x, here is your number of days, and over here is the total, I'm going to put H2O left, okay? So now you have it. So let's start. At 0, the very first day, he has 60 gallons. On day 1, he lost 5. Day 2, he lost another 5. Day 3. Do you see how that graph is forming a line? So I'm going to plot my line. Okay, but it's going to stop because eventually we're going to run out of water. So let's look at our domain. Now, this is an application problem, so I want my students to use the application. Your domain, where are you starting? What is your x value? It is starting at 0, and it is included. When are you going to run out of water? 12 days. That's without us adding anything. Your range, how low is that water going to go? It's going to be 0. How high was that water? At 60. It's an application. I want you to use the application. X-intercept. Where does it cross the x-axis? It crosses at 12 and 0. And your y-intercept is at 0 and 60. Always check this one, okay? To check, plug it in. 0 is equal to negative 5x plus 60. Negative 60 is equal to negative 5x. X is equal to 12. And that matches up. You have a definite solution. Number 4. Here is to determine if something is parallel. Parallel has to be same slope. Okay. Perpendicular has to be opposite. and reciprocal. And neither means it can just be opposite, it can just be reciprocal, but they're not the same. So let's take a look at number 4. This is in slope-intercept form. So your slope right here is negative 4 over 3, okay? Take a look at this slope. Solve for it. Solve for y equal. So you're going to have 4y is equal to 3x plus 3, because I add 3, y is equal to 3, 4x plus 3, 4, 3/4. Now take a look. There's your slope, and then there's your other slope. These two are opposite, okay? And they are a reciprocal. So these are not parallel. These are perpendicular. All right. Take a look at number 5. See, they are opposite. One's positive, one's negative, and they are reciprocal. On number 5, that's not in slope-intercept form. Let's rewrite it in slope-intercept form. Negative 6y minus 5x plus 12. Y is equal to 5 over 6x minus 2. Okay? So your slope right here is 5 over 6. Let's look at that one. 12y is equal to 10x plus 4. Y is equal to 5 over 6x plus 1/3, because I divided by 12 divided by 12. Take a look. So the slope of the second one is 5, 6, and the slope of the first one is 5, 6. They are exactly the same, so these are parallel. All right, this is number 1 through 5. Number 6 through 9 will be completed by somebody else, and we will post those as well. And then we will do the other parts, and we'll have it finished. But this is just 1 through 5. Your test is Thursday. Bye.